What's going on, guys? We're back again. Another great episode of Fury. We got the usual Tim, Dula, and Josh back again. It's going to be a great show, but I have to make a note. Um, Tim Benray, or I should say Spoonie, has trolled the whole 2MW this past week. He is both Benry and Spoonie, just so we settle the confusion for those who haven't realized it. Tim almost got the troll of the year for that stunt.
And ESPN is Swagger Jack and the No Dell.
Wait. His name was Timothy Spoonie?
Yes, it was, though.
It was.
Well, Dell, you've been away from Facebook for a while, so you're in the dark with all of this. We'll fill you in later. That being said, let's go on to the topics, folks.
All right. Oh, hey, listen, you know what? I'm finding every one of y'all. Didn't I say that today was tie day? And none of y'all got your tie on. None of y'all got your tie on. Today was tie day. You guys are getting that.
What are you talking
I didn't think it looked good with my shirt, Coach. That's my bad.
Okay? D-Man. we kind of got to figure out what happened. Von Rivera, okay, tells Cam Newton he's not starting the first series of the game because he did not have a suit and tie. It's a rule. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
You starting. That's what I'm talking about. You starting. That's what I'm talking about. So, the thing is this, and I agree with Von Rivera. I believe that if you set the rule, if you cannot wear a stinky tie to a game for the amount of money you make, a tie that costs $1, 5 cents, 25 cents, Salvation Army may give you one for free. You're talking about a tie. It's the smallest thing in the world of you being asked, and if you follow it, you're respecting the rule, and that's the main thing. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars, and all you have to do is wear a tie to the game. I don't know what's the rule as far as getting how you dress after the game, but to the game, it's a business. This is a job. This is not something where, okay, we just go around the corner and play some crate ball or, throw the ball around at a schoolyard. This is a job. So if a coach asks you, please wear a tie, normally we hear the coaches fine you. In this case, he didn't start his suit. So I'm thinking maybe it's more than that. It's more than just the tie thing. And, when you put two and two together, the way Cam Newton acts on the field, when things don't go his way with the attitude, you kind of get a sense that, it's not good. And Von Rivera, we can't forget that he came from the Chicago Bears, the 1985 defense with Mike Singletary. Those guys, that was old school discipline. So, that's what's needed today. What you guys think?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, he had to do it because you think about the Panthers, especially the secondary. They have now some young dudes on the team. They're trying to get younger, just like every NFL team tries to stay. So, you gotta. It speaks volumes when a well-respected coach is disciplining his superstar quarterback. It doesn't matter the name on the back of the jersey. A lot of props to Rivera for doing that. And if a dress code is a dress code, you got to follow it. It doesn't matter if it looks good or not. Opinionated, yeah, you could say Cam Newton is probably the most or well-dressed person on that damn team.
Yes.
Probably wearing like $5,000 organic, Wallabies wool jackets and everything. I don't know what this dude has in his closet, but hey, the rules are the rules, and you have to follow them. So, respect to Rivera for doing it, and I give him props, especially because it's Cam.
What's their record right now? What is it, like 4-7, 4-8, something like that?
Yeah.
You gotta do something. And you're going after your best player, the quintessential leader, at least of that offense. I'm not mad about it. Listen, I think some of these rules are archaic and just kind of stupid, but they are what they are. And I think it's not a very it's not like the substance abuse policy where there's some hidden agenda behind it. There's some ambiguity, or even the cleats thing. I find it problematic finding players for wearing different cleats and all that stuff. I mean, this is just simple stuff, and it concerns me that this goes back to that narrative of Cam Newton back after the Super Bowl. When things aren't going well, he's kind of a crybaby, and he kind of just lashes out and acts out kind of like a child. When things are going great, he's very boastful. So, I see no real issue.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Cam. There's no shit at Cam. He is a great dresser. I mean, let's keep it real. His clothes,
of course.
One of his T-shirts is probably 2 of your cell phone rents for the next 2 or 3 months or something like that. So
he's so well dressed. I just get tired of thinking about how he gets dressed, man. Like I want to take a nap just thinking about how he takes all that time. Like, forget about it, man.
Hey, listen. If you pull his jacket, you'd be like coming to me. Okay, is that velvet? This is beautiful, So listen, it's beautiful. Yeah. So we all know Cam is that dude, and he is the best dresser, in my opinion, in the NFL today, man. So but hopefully everything goes well, and their relationship goes in the right path. We're gonna talk about let's keep it going to coaches on the hot seat. I love what Josh say earlier on 2 Minute Warning on the 2MW War, and it was a great conversation. I wish we would have actually typed it. He asked a great question about the Jacksonville Jaguars coaching staff. Now this is about coaches on the hot seat, about Tom Coughlin being the head coach. And you know what? I wanted to pick Todd Bowles originally because of how the Jets are not playing for him. I still think he's a great head coach. I think he has to take the attitude away from the Jets, from the players, like get rid of Darrelle Revis first off for making that stupid statement that he may not want to play no more. Muhammad Wilkerson is their best player. It's his best player. So I feel like this goes in line like the way Jim Fassel started off with the New York Giants, where Tiki Barber and Strahan wasn't in tune to the way he coaches, but then they found a way to kindle their relationship, and they went on and had great careers. So, which Cooper, who's not here with us, brought up. But going back to the Josh, you opened my mind up, man. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm going with seeing Tom Coughlin going back to Jacksonville. I think that's a beautiful story.
It would be just like a feel-good story. The guy that actually got him to the AFC Championship game back in, I think it was 95, if I'm not mistaken. But
okay,
we're talking well over 20 years ago, and I believe in my heart, I believe there was a few teams that probably wanted to take Coughlin after Marr just kind of shoot him off and had to use him as a scapegoat. I just have to believe there was a few teams still interested in what he could do as a coach. But I think personally he kind of wanted to just take a year off after his exit. Wasn't something he wanted to do. He wanted to kind of step back and just see. I don't know if anybody was watching. It was a couple of weeks ago Coughlin was on there. I think it was the Monday night broadcast. I believe it was John Gruden that jokingly brought up, so, hey, man, we're going to see you, in the banana too. He said he doesn't know. He's just taking his time right now. But to not say no, or to give it a solidified answer of no, I'm done. I mean, and I believe he is still in his heart wants to coach or at least get back into it in some way, shape, or form. So I would just like to see it just from like a fantasy little standpoint. Oh, Tom Coughlin is back on the sidelines in Jacksonville. I think they could become a fan favorite in the AFC, just to see that matchup back. Maybe those young players strive to play for him. Who knows, though? Other people are going to say, he's 71. He's too old. He can't get in tune with the young players. But I don't know. He's had ex-players in the past say they would run through a wall for the guy.
I'm not making this too much about Tom Coughlin because, frankly, I think his time is up. I think he's had his run. I think at this point it would be a little bit Bill Parcellish in the sense of you don't want to come back to the well and keep coming, and you kind of lose your luster. I think Tom Coughlin.
You think he's too far removed already?
He's too far removed, and I think look at it this way: he got how many rings out of the deal? I mean, he's gonna be a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, what does he have left to prove? if I'm looking at predicted finishes, I got 3 names I'll throw out there. I think John Fox is going to be on the hot seat. I think Mike McCarthy may be on the hot seat. I think Sean Payton may be on the hot seat. What are your thoughts?
You know what? I'm not trying to throw no shade on the New York Giants. I know we have a good week coming up. I'm just saying, as a fan, why wouldn't McAdoo be on there if for some reason I guess maybe if there's a lack of communication between him and the players right now, if they was to fail, because all they need to do is win 2 out of the 4 to get into the postseason. But if they was to fail going in, that's a possibility because he is the head coach.
There's some fans even in the Giants fan base that are calling for, McAdoo is stupid. He shouldn't have ever gotten this job. But I think that comes with every fan base. I think everyone is so impatient. They just expect every offseason. They get so excited. They just expect Super Bowl based on the players they sign, based on the highlights they see on their Twitter feed of their favorite team. Everyone just gets so overly excited and they talk so much. And I think it's becoming a rise with fans. Like they just expect an instant Lombardi no matter what happens. And I think you're going to see impatient fans, mad fans all the time. It's coming with the Giants fan base, even with twice the wins as we have losses right now. They're still booing McAdoo and wanting him out. You got people that have wanted Gus to get to the bus for years now. Even Jets fans. The last year he just took them to 10-6 record. Or just missed the playoffs because of Fitzpatrick. I agree with what James Cooper said earlier on the wall. Fitzpatrick, if it was another QB there, above average QB, they would have went to the playoffs. And now this year they want Todd Bowles gone like that. Like he didn't do anything, or he's not a good defensive coach. I mean, look at the players he has,
Yeah, honestly, I think Todd Bowles is going to be where he is. John Fox, I put his name number 1. The Bears are bad. And John Fox, the thing with John Fox is in year 3, he's supposed to turn teams around. Look at his past stops. He took a really bad Carolina team and made him a Super Bowl contender. He took Tim Tebow to the playoffs. He just can't get right in Chicago. And honestly, I don't think it's his fault. He doesn't have a quarterback. His star players on defense, their star signings are injured. They just have injuries across the board. They're starting all types of first and second year players. And you know what? I still think they'll fire the guy. Because do you really see – if you look at the other 3 teams in the NFC North, that's tough sledding. I'll say this. The coaches that should be on the hot seat won't be. For example, I don't think Jeff Fisher should be a head coach anymore. I don't think Chip Kelly should be a head coach in the NFL anymore. I don't think a coach in
even the Panthers. Even the Panthers. I think some fans want Rivera going after they just had a 1-loss season last year.
Wrap it up though, because we have one more topic before we go to next. But
all right,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I just think that the first year guys like John Fox and Chip Kelly, if they were just rented for 1 year, then I can say yes. But they have really nothing to work with going into the season to just start this year. So I mean, if they were rented, they were rented.
Last question for the topic. Do you think Hugh Jackson deserves to stay in Cleveland? You two?
Yes. That's
okay. Yes. I agree as well. Yeah, I just think he was Bella Dad. Yeah, bad hand with RG3 in that whole debacle.
And the difference between Hugh Jackson and John Fox is that this is John Fox's 3rd year in Chicago. And they're bad.
Oh, pardon me. Yeah. You're absolutely right. So, gone. All right. All right, we're going to talk about the playoffs. We're going to pick a team out of the NFC and the AFC. Who do we see? I miss a spot. Who may sneak in? No disrespect towards the New York Giants. I'm picking them only because of the injury to JPP, which I think is humongous. I think, you know what? I'll keep it real. I've said that he could have been the next Reggie White type player. And from when he came back from his finger, I mean, I won't call him Reggie White, but he was an impact defensive. He was the best defensive player on the New York Giants this year. He paved the way to everybody behind him to make plays, like Landon Collins. So I have them being 2 out of the 4. They have to see Dallas, which is a big matchup this week. They have the Detroit Lions, who are fighting for home field throughout the playoff with Dallas, and we're going to meet each other 2 weeks from now. They have the last 2 games are the NFC East opponents. Is going to be the Eagles at Philly, and then going on the road at Washington. That is hard, very major hard. So I have the Giants losing. I have the Buccaneers sneaking in. I don't think that the schedule is that hard. They have the Saints at home. They play the Cowboys, and then they play the Saints again. And the Saints have no defense. And then I like the Green Bay Packers as well. The Green Bay Packers have Seattle Seahawks this week, which is my condolences to me, the best safety in NFL today, Earl Thomas, who out for the year. He's thinking about retirement. That's a big hole in the Seattle Seahawks defense. And they're going to Lambeau Field, which is in Green Bay's favor. So then after that, the Packers got the Chicago Bears, which is was a bad team as it is. And then they got the Minnesota Vikings, which they're bad. So those are my 2 teams that I can see sneaking in and replacing the New York Giants on the NFC side.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, I would love to see him get in, but you're right, Timothy. I'm not going to lie, and it's not looking good on the offensive side for the Giants. 2 tough games coming up. Dallas and Detroit. I mean, right there, you could instantly just end up 0-2 in the next coming weeks. And then you got to play those divisional games, which are huge. I could easily see the Giants falling out of the 5th seed. And then I look around. The Packers would be a nice story to see squeak in at 500, but still with the Seahawks, Vikings, and Lions on their schedule, I see them maybe going 7-9, honestly. I think the Bears might be their only last win on their schedule. I think they're struggling too much. They haven't gotten it together, just like the Giants. And it's week 14 we're coming upon, and they still don't have the chemistry down in sync. The Saints would have been nice, but they lost a big one to Detroit last week, and I think that's just going to be a momentum killer for them, even with the Bucs still on their schedule twice, which are, I think, in my opinion, they could be pretty much W's on their schedule. So for me, the ones that have a possibility of squeaking in, I think the Redskins could get in there. They face the Eagles next, which is, I think, in my opinion, an easy W because their offensive firepower is going to be way too much for that Philly secondary to hold. They got the Panthers. I think that's a possible win as well. I think Kirk Cousins is in a rhythm this season, and he's just being an above-average QB. Nothing crazy great, but he's doing good. He's getting these 3 touchdown games where he's being solid, and that's all you really need. And then the Bears, and then the Giants. I mean, like I said, with the way the Giants are playing, the Redskins could possibly win out the rest of their games. I'm not going to lie about it. So, yeah, honestly, at this point, I would probably switch out the Redskins and the Giants. As for a second seed or the second team in the NFC dropping out, I would probably give it to the Buccaneers. And for somebody taking their spot, that's the tough one. I would probably at this point go the Vikings.
It's just kind of hard. Like the Giants only needs 2 games to win. Just 2.
It's going to be tough, man. Those next 2 opponents are deadly.
Well, on that note, guys, we'll catch you guys back.
Dula?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dula, you say yours, Dula?
I'm sorry. I thought Dula already went. Sorry, go ahead.
I think we got some problems, Sean.
That's Mel Kiper Jr. That's Mel Kiper Sr. right there.
Since Sean's quick to move on, we'll make this quick. I was going to say this is around the time of the year that the Falcons, have their annual collapse. But I look at their schedule. They're at L.A. They have San Francisco home.
Yeah.
They're at Carolina, New Orleans home. If they choke here, I think Dan Quinn should be on the hot seat because this is about
Wow.
This is
I
almost
like it.
this is almost idiot proof for the Falcons to win these next 4 games and in the playoffs. Right now, your wild cards are Washington, Tampa Bay. I don't know if Tampa Bay has it all put together yet. I could see, and man, listen, you're going to like this. I could see Minnesota squeaking in and taking the last spot in the number 6 seed.
Yep, some winnable
Sounds
games.
far-fetched. They have a favorable schedule.
You know what? It's not far-fetched, but real quick, I apologize. We're just going to pick one team from the AFC. Just no explanation. I'm picking the Texans to fall out. That division, everybody's 6-6, 6-6, 6-6. I'm seeing them falling out. I see the Tennessee Titans sneaking into that playoff hunt. Madison, that's for you, baby. That's for you.
All right, we're moving on, guys. All right. We'll be right back.
Madison, shout out, baby!
Okay, whatever.